back to Top 5 Wednesday.
And this week's top 5 list is top 5 retellings.
So that could be fairy tales, other stories.
Whatever you get. We're going to retell it. First on our list is something that we read long ago and it's still stuck with us. And it's even a musical. It is Gregory Maguire's Wicked. Now, what do you love about this book?
It was the first book I ever read that had sex in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that I had read other ones, but, you know, I had. Wow.
Yeah, and it was like the first book that I ever read that was a retelling of something else. So it was a lot of firsts.
But this book was like a lot of fun because there's so many themes just running through this book, like good and evil, and like doing the right thing.
Friendship.
Oh, just so good. And you've got like that bittersweet ending because she dies and, you know, she doesn't get her love, but like the world goes on. And, you know, it's kind of like just, like, gets you there.
And it kind of has a really different take on the Dorothy story, which I liked.
Yeah, Dorothy is not your friend. And just the whole, like, politic thing that's going on, because that is so weird.
The animals versus animals.
Yeah. Just so much fun. And if you haven't read it, if you've just seen the musical is nothing. Nothing like
the musical
book.
is like popcorn, and, like, it's fun and it's happy, but the book is very dark and very, like, thought-provoking.
Yeah. So if you have a chance to read it and you haven't already read it, go for it. Next on our list is
Deathless by Catherine M. Valentine. I think that's her name. Oh my god. So this is a retelling of a Russian folktale, and it's this weird portrait of just Russian history with this fairy tale like weaved through it. So it's got some historical fiction going on, and it's got these fairy tales and folk tales, and there are house elves, there are communist house elves. It's so beautifully written. Like, that's the first thing that stood out to me. Like, it has that kind of fairy tale melody to it, where, you know, it's someone's telling you a story, and it's perfect. Like, it's so well put together, and it just connects beautifully, and this was my first introduction to her writing, and I will read anything else this woman puts out just based off of this book alone. So if you want something a little bit different and you like fairy tales, then you know what? Pick this one up because, oh my god.
Next on our list is Tear You Apart, and I just kind of read this because I got it on NetGalley, and I was like, okay, sounds like up my alley, and it was like a lot of fun. It wasn't super serious, but I like this whole idea of like having this place where, you know, you get like a fairy tale curse when you're born and you have to live out this curse no matter what. And the curses don't play out the way you think because, you know, we're following Snow White and the huntsman is either going to kill her and the evil queen's going to win, or he's going to like spare her life and she can't deal with that because he's her boyfriend and she's like dead sure that he's just going to kill her one day. And so she like ends up running away, tries to like absolutely just like skip her fate, and she ends up running into like a Rumpelstiltskin curse, and it's just, you've got all these like fairy tales just interacting with each other in tons of fun ways. So it's kind of like the 10th Kingdom in a quirky sense, and if you want something that's like not too complicated but just quirky, there you go.
Next on our list is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, and this was the first book by Sarah J. Maas that I ever read. And the reason I read it was billed as a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, which is like a fairy tale near and dear to my heart, and Hades and Persephone, which at first I was like, this doesn't make sense, but I'm like, wait, it does, because the stories are similar. What I found so fascinating about this book is it doesn't feel Stockholm Syndrome-y. Like, I find
which is really hard.
With a lot of Beauty and the Beast retellings, it's just like, you know, he's all like gruff and mean and like she ends up like getting like falling in love with him, and it's creepy. But this, it was done in such a way that the main character has to come and live with your fairy creature because of a treaty. And so he just fulfills his thing of like bringing her with him, and then he's like, yeah, you just have to live here, I don't really care, like do your thing, whatever. And so that completely takes out that like creepy level of that relationship, and they kind of get to know each other because it's like, if you're going to live in my house, I guess I do have to talk to you. Maybe. And so I had a lot of fun with it. The romance was kind of cute, and the world is really interesting, and I will definitely be picking up the next book when it comes out. So if you haven't read it, check it out. It's a really quick, fun read.
And last on our list is something we read as children. Again, another book with sex in it. Really? You didn't read
I
this?
never read this book.
What?
I know.
What?
I know. I never read this book.
Okay, I'm going to have to lend it to you. Because
You
it's
have
really
lent it to
good.
me.
And you haven't read it.
I haven't read it because you keep making me read books for reviews.
So this is the story of Tam Lim, where you have this fairy knight who has come back from the fairy ether, and, you know, he's trying to reintegrate into regular society, but, you know, keep in mind this is set in, like, you know, like the medieval kind of era. And this girl kind of, like, meets him, and she kind of falls in love with him. And she has to kind of save him from this fairy curse. And to be honest, I've never read Tam Lin or... Yeah. Okay, so...
See, I know the story.
Yeah.
So I got it, but...
I really kind of just like this idea because she's trying to figure out what's wrong, and in the meantime, she, like, pisses off the fairies, so they're, like, terrorizing the farm. She's also kind of involved with this political plot where they're trying to marry her off to this guy, and she's like, I don't really want to marry this guy, and it does not turn out the way you expect, because it doesn't, and it's kind of more adult than you're used to finding in the teen section, but I really liked it, and she's fairly kick-ass. Like, she didn't, like, beat down the door of the bad guys, but she was smart, and she was figuring things out. So if you haven't read An Earthly Night by Janet Minot, do it.
I just remembered there's another Tam Lin adaptation that I did read. It was by Diane Wen Jones. It was, like, called Fire and Hemlock.
Okay.
So yeah, that's another one.
So that has been our list of top 5 retellings. That was kind of fun. I enjoyed it. But
Funny how most of them were like fairy tales or folk tales. We totally do not have a type.
No, we don't. I have a feeling that that's just the way our brain works, and we've actually read a whole ton of retellings, but we haven't actually thought about them.
Yeah. So what are your favorite retellings? Tell us about them in the comments below.
We have a website, www.doftheA.com, where you can find more reviews, more blogs. She does a lot of blogs.
I do a lot of blogs.
I don't do a lot of blogs. But anyways, you can find us there. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and yeah, subscribe if you want to see more videos. Bye guys.